Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about things we love like gaming, shows, and Resident Evil. We haven't talked much about Resident Evil lately, so today we're going to take a look at some obscure mangas that you probably didn't know about, especially considering the fact that they aren't even in English. In case you don't know, there are a good amount of Resident Evil comics that introduce new characters that aren't in any of the games, and they are exciting, so if you ever find one, I highly recommend you check them out. As a side note, they came out when the franchise only consisted of the first trilogy. Now let's take a look at the obscure mangas. But first, can you guess who this character is? The first one to guess who the character is will get a shout out. You guys seem to be really good at getting these ones, so I'll have to make this one tougher as it goes. But anyways, let's take a look at the mangas. It looks like it was drawn in an anime art style, so they add a few funny faces here and there. But like I said, I don't know what they're saying, so I just flip the pages and see if I can tell what's going on. That tends to work, right? The thing that intrigued me the most about these mangas, other than the fact that they're based on the Resident Evil franchise before it got famous, is that the texture of one of the mangas is very different from regular mangas. It feels like it was made out of cardboard texture. It's very bizarre. And I know I've seen some really old mangas that use this kind of texture, but I never thought I'd see one for a Resident Evil manga, or in this case, they're called Biohazard mangas. The covers and textures on the rest of the mangas I got here are like comic book volumes. They look like comics as well, but they aren't. And they even have English text on the covers. Now, enough of the texture of these mangas, let's see what they're all about, starting with the most obscure looking one, the cardboard texture one. Now, the cover of the manga isn't the only thing that feels like it's more cardboard than paper. Every page feels like that as well, like scratch paper, if they still call it that in school when you need that shitty paper to take notes with. And like the rest of the mangas, it has English text on the cover saying they have escaped into the mansion, yet. I don't get what it means by that. Usually when Japanese text is translated to English, it tends not to make perfect sense. So maybe that's what's going on here. But so far, we know that this manga is based on the events of the Spencer Mansion, the first Resident Evil game, and it even gives you a hint to the first game, letting you know that there is a special key and that you should use it on the closet for a new costume as shown with Jill and Chris. That's pretty cool. Oh wait, whoops. I forgot that this is supposed to be a manga, so you start from the back instead of the front. I'll never get why it's been this way with mangas. To be honest, it's pretty dumb and pointless because you end up seeing the last page first by mistake, which could spoil the ending for you. And when you're reading both mangas and comics, this will happen very often. So it looks like the final page of this manga gives you a hint about the special key, and it's not the first page. And the real front cover is in the back, which definitely looks better than the other side, showing you the date of the first Resident Evil game, the day the Alpha team went out to investigate the Raccoon Forest. Wait a minute, Raccoon Forest? Is this a typo, or is Raccoon City actually known as Raccoon City in the Japanese version? Anyways, why didn't they just keep it with English text if the cover and the back, and the first and last pages are in English? I guess if Raccoon Forest really is a typo, then surely they'd fuck up most of the dialogue if it were in English. Now let's take a look at the next pages. After seeing what the rest of the manga looks like, I don't see any horror elements kicking in. The cover of the manga and the English text that you can read basically tells you that this is supposed to be horror. But the manga looks like I'm actually reading a manga of Mikami the Ghost Sweeper. It's more humorous than horrifying. But by the looks of what's going on, it looks like it is going by the events that you played through in the game, like taking on zombies, finding Rebecca, and having her play Moonlight Sonata on the piano. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing that they went with a humorous direction instead of taking the horror elements to the manga. It's kind of funny to see things like this turn out this way. It's actually the first time I've ever seen something like this. I only wish I understood what the hell was going on. I'm sure the images aren't the only thing humorous here. The drawings look really good, by the way. I've always been a big fan of the old school anime and manga style, and it really works this way. But now let's move on to the next manga. This one's called Level Out Biohazard 2, based on Resident Evil 2. It lets you know that it's another survival horror based manga, but I truly doubt it. Yup, it's just like the previous manga we looked at. Which again, it's not a bad thing. We got the comic books to look at if we want to see the true horror elements. Not only that, but with the comic books, you don't have to worry about reading it from back to front. You can actually understand what they're saying, and it's in color. I guess that's one thing that mangas will always disappoint me with. Sometimes you just want to see some colorful images. But anyways, like the previous manga, I can't tell what they're saying. I know they're going through the same events in the game, but in a funny way. Like, check out Mr. X over here. I don't know why he's holding a chess piece and a rose. Maybe the chess piece is the same chess piece that goes into that one door that requires a certain amount of chess pieces to open it. Every now and then they meet a creature, but also we end up seeing Chris Redfield as well. But it looks like he's there and not there. It's weird, but if you can understand what they're saying, be sure to share it in the comments, because I, again, just have no idea what the hell's going on. I can't be sure, but it looks like this manga ends with the actual ending to the second game. I mean, it looks like they escaped it, but then the last page shows Leon approaching a door, and that's it. The next one here is about Resident Evil 2 as well, but unlike the previous one that concentrates on Leon, this one looks like it concentrates mainly on Claire Redfield. It's called Biohazard 2. That's it. No side title or anything. And as you'd expect by now, it's just like the other two with the same art style, same humor, and it does go through the entire game story. The last one here is called Virus Busters, and it's based on Resident Evil 3. Honestly, looking at this cover makes me wonder if these mangas are just fan-made. After all, I did pick them up at a specific convention. But anyways, this one goes by the same direction as other ones. It looks funny. The art looks a lot better on this one for some reason. There's a part where Nikolai wears a Star Trek uniform as well. Yeah, I don't watch that shit, but I can tell that it's definitely from that franchise. So it's random as hell. There's a Pikachu there for some reason. I don't know what the hell is going on. Seriously, what the Okay, let's move on. There's also an image near the end that shows Jill in the exact same looks as in her character epilogue. So I wonder if this gives us a little more details than the epilogue in the game. So that's Virus Busters for you. The back of the manga is pretty cool. It has the STARS logo, but it looks like it's on the back of a STARS uniform. Too detailed to trick you into thinking that you're actually gonna feel a uniform there. So, well, there you have it. The obscure Resident Evil mangas. Are they worth checking out? I don't know. I can't even understand shit what's going on. I wanted to share this with you guys in case you haven't heard of them. They do look pretty cool and all. I wish I understood what's going on. I mean, the art did catch my attention. Well, the franchise itself caught my attention. But if I could understand what they were saying, I think I'd rather go with the Resident Evil comic books instead. If you've seen them, then you know what I'm talking about. Those ones stick to the horror genre instead of a parody style that these mangas went with. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please leave a like, share with others, and subscribe if you haven't. And don't forget to click on the little bell icon next to the subscribe button to notify you of every new video that gets uploaded to the channel. And if there's a specific video you'd like to see, just leave it in the comments and you might get to see the video you were hoping for. Also, follow me on Twitter and Facebook to find out which videos are up next and all sorts of random shit that I post up. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.